And I think, too, I end up finding myself thinking, oh, man, but it is my job. Like, I need to keep him on track. Peace in the mornings is such a gift for us and our families. I have lost sight of that these past few mornings because I have been nagging Mr. 5 over every little thing, trying to get him ready and out the door. And it's so stressful. I forgot how difficult mornings can feel and how chaotic I think mornings can feel when things aren't just smoothly running and expectations are clear and everyone can just kind of do what they need to do, you know? And then I get to just be kind of the gentle reminder or kind of the leader by example. Whatever my role needs to be, I can step into that without a lot of nagging and frustration. Honestly, when I nag, I end up really frustrated, and I'm sure everyone around me is very frustrated too, because I'm trying so hard to like keep everyone on track and regain control, I would say, you know, or get everyone doing exactly what I think they need to be doing and should be doing. And in reality, like, peace can really enter into my mornings when those expectations are clear. Okay, so let me give you some reference, because I feel like where things have gone off track are just the fact that Mr. 5 now is in school, and so he does need to be on schedule. You know, that's a new concept for him and for me, to be honest. My bigger kids are used to that, and they have lived their whole life with high fives, is what we call them. I learned that, or I heard that, I guess, somewhere. They have 5 things that they do in the morning, and after they're done, they get a high five. My daughter, who's now 11, was probably 2 or 3 at the time when I started it, and she has just grown up knowing, like, we do those things first thing in the morning so that they get done. So it's like, make your bed, brush your teeth, go to the bathroom, get dressed, right? Whatever the 5 most important things are, or the 5 things we're working on, you know, whatever that looks like at the time. And I have not even done that with Mr. 5. He's the youngest, you know, I'm just in a different phase of life, it feels like. But I need to do that, because once those expectations are clear, it makes it really easy for him, for me, and then I don't have to nag. I don't feel the need to micromanage every little detail because those expectations are very clear. And I'm not needing to repeat myself a zillion times. Maybe I'm the only one that gets frustrated doing that. I get really irritated when it's like I'm telling them over and over and over again to do the same things. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, they're not listening. But when I can take a step back and just reflect on my role and the role I want as their mom, who is, you know, there to teach, there to lead, there to model, there to encourage and support, like all these beautiful roles and responsibilities. And I don't really want nagging to be one of them. I don't really want controlling them to be one of them. But I can fall into that really easily if I haven't kind of taken a step back and realized, okay, what's missing here? And in this case, I think it is just those clear expectations. Like, I need to give him those things. Like, okay, when first thing you wake up, you got to do this and this and this, and tell him the why, right? Like, that way you get to do something fun after if you're ready in time, or that way you get to go to school. I like implementing love and logic where I can, which just teaches very natural consequences where they get choices, right? That's a big part of life. Agency is part of the plan. So we want to and need to give our kids those opportunities to have choice. And then we get to have consequences and privileges, right? Like the natural progression of what comes next after choices. And as we do that, we can experience so much peace. My goodness. I just think, man, my big kids, I used to homeschool, And even with our homeschooling days, I would teach first things first. There's I don't know if it's Stephen Covey, maybe it's his son, but one of the Coveys is like 5 habits for happy kids or something. And it's just these cute little stories that teach principles. And so to my kids now, first things first means something to them. And they can picture the story and realize, okay, that's why we do our first things first. Because then we have the opportunity to do other fun things. Or like with school, if my kids end up in jammies at school, they will experience that and they'll have those consequences, whatever that looks like. Because I would much rather my role with them be just gentle support, gentle encouragement. You know, I think about how the Lord allows me to choose, how He sees the big picture. He knows what probably is going to make me happiest. But then ultimately I do have a choice, and I do want to model that as much as I can with my kids in how I'm, kind of establishing our household. As the mom, I do feel a big privilege and responsibility, I would say, to really set the tone, set those expectations, establish those boundaries. Like, it is a really big responsibility. And I have found for sure, once expectations are quite clear, there's a lot of safety that comes from that, peace that comes from that. I get to let the natural consequences do the teaching instead of the nagging. I get to have those expectations, like our high fives that are posted. My kids will kind of write or draw their own, usually, high fives. And so they're just posted, and they get to reference them as often as they want. And I get to have that be the thing that they can come back to over and over, so that I'm not the one that's then frustrated, short with them. My mornings are feeling super chaotic because I can't do everything for everyone. I don't feel like I should need to be the one telling everyone what to do all the time. Like, I don't want that for me. I don't want that for them. So I just need to implement that with Mr. 5 because it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle lately, and it just doesn't need to be that hard. It takes a little bit of thought ahead of time to just put something in place, try it, see what needs to happen, so that then mornings can just go really smoothly again. Like, it's totally an option. It's an option anytime I want to just have a little bit more peace, because that's just the way I want to start my days. But mornings can feel super chaotic. Trying to get everyone out the door, or back in the day, like trying to get homeschool started or whatever that looks like. Feeding the animals used to be my situation. Our goats and our chickens and our rabbits. Like, mornings, oh man, you just want to start your day off on the right foot. At least I do, And so having clear expectations where everyone just knows this is how this needs to go. And then I just work on, and I will need to work on, not having that, not giving into the urge to nag, we'll say. Because it's really, really tempting. It's tempting to feel like, and I think too, I end up finding myself thinking, oh man, but it is my job. Like, I need to keep him on track. I need to make sure he's doing his stuff. Oh, but it's so much better. And it gives them power. It gives them independence. And I feel like nagging takes that away and takes that opportunity for them to rise away. Because they'll rise to the occasion most of the time. They rise to that occasion. They can surprise you so much what they can do and what they're capable of. But I'm taking that away every time I'm telling him and reminding him, or maybe kind of putting him down sometimes, which is so sad to admit. yeah, that's why I told you to do it sooner. Or like, yeah, that's why we're needing to hurry. Like, I don't want to show up as that, you know? But it's okay. You live and learn. Seasons come and go. We get into good rhythms and then things change. It's a new experience for me, getting all 3 kids up and ready and out the door. And he's still young, right? I want to help him and be there for him. I just want to do it in a more Christ-like way, you know? Like I want to just show up for him and lead by example, set the tone, you know, create an atmosphere that's peaceful and conducive to him succeeding. I mean, there's a lot that goes into setting ourselves and our families up for success. So I just need to put a little bit more thought and effort into that, I think. And obviously, I mean, the high fives were great for me and my family. That does not mean it's your solution. It doesn't mean that you should all of a sudden add one more thing to your plate. I know it's super tempting. We hear any other mom doing something great and think, oh, I need to be more like her. I need to implement this right away. My kids are missing out because we don't do that. That is not the intent. That is not the intent at all. That's why I always say, don't mother like me, mother like you. I'm here to just give you encouragement and, you know, to just help you know, like, you're not the only one struggling. You're not the only one experiencing these things. All of us moms are doing our best. The Lord loves that effort. He sees it. Even the chaotic mornings, He's grateful that we're showing up. And there is this huge opportunity to really tap into what works super well for you and your family, what takes some off of your plate. It's a heavy load, especially if things aren't in place, if expectations and consequences haven't been established. It's a lot. Mornings can be super stressful, but there is a much more peaceful way, and I just need to find that again. You know, like I just need to really figure out this, me, my kids, my husband, like my specific situation, the time everyone has to leave by. There's a ton of variables. And that's why what works for me might not work for you. So don't mother like me, mother like you.